On our program lineup, police in Osun parades the prime suspect in the murder of a female student of Osun State University. While in Kaduna, Fulani locals promise unity against herdsmen.
Where is the autopsy report? All we have is a death card and a death certificate. Are these documents sufficient evidence of the cause of Shola's death?
And back here in Lagos, the Ade Folalu's family questioned the death and cremation of their daughter's body in Poland. Welcome to another edition of Crime Watch on Television Continental. I'm Ivy Kano. We'll start off in Kaduna, where Tesem Akende reports that 4 communities in southern Kaduna have resolved to give peace a chance in their locality. They are comprised of Fulani, the locals, opinion leaders.
Children from the nomadic primary school Ngoma closing for the day. They make their way home in high spirits. Several houses here are in bad shape following attacks between the locals and Fulani militia. But the children are happy. Peace has returned.
Everybody is enjoying his life, is doing whatever he is supposed to do. But he is feeling happiness.
All of us want peace to reign.
The children have come and gone. And seated here are their parents who have come for peace education. There are opinion leaders from Dangoma, Goska, Kaninkon and Bakinkogi communities. And being a religious people, they began on a prayerful note. Security personnel are still in the area keeping the peace. Indeed, the class held in a school that provides shelter for some of the security personnel. They bear their minds on the issues that have affected them. Some even took notes. The blame game almost erupted again, but there was a call for caution.
It is when we put ourselves in that situation to empathize with the other group, then it is easier for us to start a conversation that will bring about genuine reconciliation.
Facilitators of the gathering tasked them to realize that irrespective of their religious and cultural affiliations, they remain one family under God. Mariam Suleiman is the chairperson of the Fulani women here in Dangoma. I asked for her perspective on the killings, and she was quick to tell me that they are neither engineered by them nor the locals. The onslaught, according to her, is usually by foreigners who strike and then take to their heels.
Even we, the Fulani people here, are afraid of them.
The meeting lasted for hours and the people resolved that they would team up and ensure foreigners do not break their age-long ties.
I must tell you, it's difficult to defeat a determined community. Thanks, Tesem. And in Delta, the incessant clashes between herdsmen and local farmers in Delta State in the last 8 months left no fewer than 75 persons and 50 cows dead. The State Commissioner of Police, Zena Mohammed Ibrahim, disclosed this during the peace meeting he held with herdsmen. Correspondent Carl Ofonye has more.
The human casualty figure, according to the Delta State Commissioner of Police, represents the dead on both sides of the divide between June 2016 and now. The police commissioner, who did not hide his displeasure over the killings, said he called the meeting specifically to brainstorm with the herdsmen on how to put an end to the clashes.
I welcome you today for this very important town hall meeting, which is aimed at finding a lasting solution to herdsmen and host communities' crisis. This town hall meeting is important in all respects because of the manifest trusty relationship between herdsmen and their host communities.
Mr. Mohammed did not end his speech without identifying the cause of those incessant clashes and what the herdsmen can do now to avert them.
Most of this mischief is done at night. So if we are able to contain the hours of grazing, limit the time of grazing, say between 6 p.m. and 6 p.m., no animals should go out for grazing. I think it will reduce this crisis. We should go out with our animals during the day so that everybody will see you. If you don't have any hidden agenda, why do you do it at night? You just go out grazing at night, before daybreak you have moved to another location. So the mischief maker is not known.
After the police commissioner's speech, many of the herdsmen in attendance opened up on the burning issue. They included those that couldn't express themselves in English language. But this man was on standby to interpret their contributions to the peace initiative.
We ask them to also monitor those coming from other places. If you allow a stranger to encroach into an area, commit mischief, you run away, then certainly these people would blame no one other than your humble self.
Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Delta State on Security also made his contributions.
Our own people too, our own youth too, always join with them to commit this crime. Because if a thief comes into a house, somebody will tell him this is the road. So not only the Fulani herdsmen. Because if you, the owner of the house, don't tell somebody this is the road to a house, he will not enter it. So the problem is between all of us. But what, as I'm telling you now, with this peace meeting, we are going to get here. I think we are going to get somewhere.
At the end of the meeting, a 13-point communique aimed at putting an end to the incessant clashes between herdsmen and host communities in Delta State was issued. They included, among other things, that there should be registration of new herdsmen and their herds at all identified entry points, that night grazing and child rearers must stop forthwith, and that a joint task force comprising of all security agencies, representatives of host communities, and the herdsmen be established to handle all issues relating to host communities and herdsmen's conflicts. Other vital points included in the communique stipulated that the consent of host communities must be obtained before herdsmen move into settlements in any community, and that resident herdsmen should checkmate and report to the Joint Task Force or the nearest police formation criminal activities of visiting nomadic herdsmen. It was also noted that there must be prompt payment of compensation for destruction of crops, farmland by herdsmen, and that all issues of multiple levies, royalties that usually cause friction between herdsmen and host communities should be discouraged.
Thanks, Carl. The Osun State Police Command has paraded the prime suspect in the murder of a female student of Osun State University late last year. Correspondent Ibrahim Alege reports that 2 other suspects were also paraded.
Adebisi Rofiat Damilola, a 400-level student of chemistry education, Osun State University, was found dead on December 22nd, 2016. This was after she boarded a vehicle from Ipetu Ijesha, where our school campus was located. This suspect, Elijah Odebode, who was the driver of the commercial vehicle the deceased boarded, claimed she willingly followed him home after agreeing to his advances. I picked her from Ipetu Ijesha. While on board, I wooed her and she accepted. I took her to my room in Iragbiji and made love to her. She later died in my room and I dumped her in the bush. According to the Commissioner of Police, Olafemihan Adioye, the suspect has confessed to killing the victim and dumping her remains somewhere in Iragbiji, Borikwe local government area of Osun State.
He has confessed to being responsible for the killing, for the murder of the late student of Uni Osun. Also with us is Yusuf, from whom the telephone of the late Rofiat was found.
Odebode claimed that he only sold the deceased's iPhone 5 mobile phone to the second suspect paraded by the police, Yusuf Ajibade. Adioye said investigations are still ongoing and assured that the suspects will be charged to court very soon. Also paraded were a middle-aged man, Ismail Afolabi, for allegedly killing his client, Said Afolabi, over land matter, and 32-year-old Kazim Ayola for the alleged murder of his 85-year-old biological mother, whom he claimed was responsible for his misfortunes.
Still in Osun, some unknown persons have set a session of the Osun State High Court located in Ayeso area of Ilesha ablaze. The incident, according to eyewitness account, occurred in the early hours of Monday. Correspondent Ibrahim Alege gathered that the security men on duty were tied up and macheted by the perpetrators while trying to gain access into the court premises. The yet-to-be-identified persons were also reported to have destroyed some documents of the court before leaving the premises. The State Chief Judge, Justice Adekpele Ujo, visited the scene to assess the level of damage done, but declined to speak on camera. The chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ilesha Branch, Ebenezer Ogunfuminiyi, condemned the attack on the court of law. He said NBA members would henceforth boycott the court, claiming that their lives are in danger.
It's not fire outbreak, it's intentional burning down of the court premises by some interest. That's the way we look at it. Then the poor security situation on ground allows it to happen. They've studied this place, they know there is no concrete security on ground. So they use that opportunity to carry out the nefarious act.
Now back here in Lagos, the Adefulalu's family has cried out to the federal government to prevail on the Polish government to investigate the death of their daughter, Shola Gaska, who until her death married a Polish man named Jakub Gaska in Poland. The family questioned why their daughter will be cremated without allowing them to travel and pay their last respects to her. We must warn that this report contains flash photography. All in this room are united by one cause, that is to find justice for the late Shola. Abimbola Essien Nelson, the late Shola's elder sister, Abimbola's husband, non-governmental organizations, representatives, friends of the late photographer and film producer. Abimbola, in her petition, questioned why her 36-year-old sister was hurriedly cremated and her ashes buried, even when the family members here in Nigeria were ready to attend her burial in Poland. According to her, her sister's 7-year-old marriage to Jakub appeared blissful, except for complaints about her mother-in-law interference in her marriage.
As far as I know, there was nothing really, the relationship, she had a good relationship with her husband, but I constantly received reports from her about the constant friction in the marriage due to the overbearing and meddling stance of her mother-in-law. As a matter of fact, Shirley told me that they had plans to relocate to a separate house for the privacy of herself and her husband, as there was just no privacy whatsoever in the matrimonial home. The last verbal conversation I had with my sister took place on the 24th of December 2016, and she made no complaint about her health or being sick in any way. At about 11:28 a.m. on Wednesday, the 28th of December 2016, I received a telephone call from her husband that there had been an accident. Shola had fallen unconscious and had died. As expected, this information was devastating for me and my family. The husband did not tell me the nature of this accident. I was still conversing with him when the telephone was disconnected. The husband later called me back that same day, now stating that Shola had been feeling sick on Tuesday evening and that he and his sister had taken her to the hospital. He didn't tell me the name of the hospital. He said that tests were conducted and showed that she had anemia and low hemoglobin levels. She was admitted and was being treated, but eventually passed away at 3 a.m. on Wednesday, the 28th of December 2016. Still in shock, I informed my family members, and my husband and I began to make plans to travel to Krakow to give my sister a befitting burial, when the husband called and informed us that Shirley said she was going to be cremated in line with an agreement she had had with him. And it's important to note that there is no history of cremation in both the Gaska and Adefolalu families. This is a fact that we confirmed from our Nigerian friends who went to visit the husband after my sister had passed on. It's also important to note that nobody in Kuba's family went for the cremation. They sent my sister off to be cremated like she was just nobody, nothing. Nobody was there. In spite of our request for him to stop that, not to do it, to wait for us to get there, we made it clear to him that because of the sudden nature of her death, we wanted to see her body. We sent several sets of representatives from the Nigerian community to him in this regard, but he refused to allow anyone access to see my sister. Kuba's final words to my husband and I, who were on a conference call, was that the cremation will proceed as planned and there was nothing anyone could do about it. So he proceeded to cremate my sister, not my sister, the remains, on January 2nd, 2017. Barely 5 days, is that even 5 days, from 28th to the 2nd of January. With neither, like I said, he wasn't there, his mother, none of his sisters, nobody was there. We learned that through third parties sympathetic to our cause that a burial service to inter the ashes eventually took place on January 7, 2017, without officially informing me or any member of my family. When I requested for photographs of the body, the husband ignored my request for several days and eventually and reluctantly sent just one picture, which showed only a part of her face. There has been no autopsy report. We don't have any medical records. We have no clue as to what really happened to my sister. Now we have been informed by the Nigerian consular offices in Poland that the police have now been contacted to commence an investigation into the questionable death of my sister. But till to date, as I'm sitting here before you, we have no report. We have no feedback. All we have is basically the report of a policeman who questioned the husband and basically was just telling them the same story he had been telling all this while. So almost over a month after this whole thing has happened, we have no autopsy report, no formal, detailed, unbiased investigation report from the police. It's just as if, life doesn't matter to anybody, anywhere. We don't understand why Jakub, Shola's husband, could not wait for us, why he has deprived our family the opportunity of paying our last respects to our daughter, sister, niece, cousin, and auntie. You can just imagine how doubly painful it is. First you lose your sister, and then you don't even understand what happened to her, and then you don't even get a chance to say goodbye. His refusal to send detailed photographs of the corpse is highly suspicious, as we can even observe from the only photograph he sent that there were attempts to conceal the swelling on her lips and neck region. The head also has all the signs of trauma and bruises. This likely explains his reluctance for anyone to see my sister's body and the roller coaster speed with which the cremation was carried out. Where is the autopsy report? All we have is a death card and a death certificate. Are these documents sufficient evidence of the cause of Shola's death? My family has reasonable reason to suspect that the death of my sister was not natural, and that the husband and/or conjunctively with his mother and sisters are presumed to be responsible for her death. This explains the refusal to give us access to her body and the horrid cremation of her remains. The presumption is based on all the facts I highlighted before. In addition, the husband also hurriedly pulled down the deceased's social media accounts, wiped away all her business websites, as if to further make any form of investigation difficult. In view of all of the above, we appeal to the federal government of Nigeria as well as the government of Poland to assist our family in unraveling the mystery surrounding the death and the cremation of my sister, and to ensure that justice is done.
Others present called on the Nigerian government to take issues relating to Nigerians in the diaspora seriously.
Our governments must stop agonizing and organize. We need to properly organize to defend our citizens. Government must investigate those at the embassy over there. And we just want to say that the husband has murdered sleep. The government of Poland owe us an explanation.
We are just asking the Nigerian government for once to wake up and protect the rights of a girl child, of a woman. Questions must be asked. The Polish government must be held accountable. They must tell us what happened to that girl.
Shola's husband was alleged to have shut down all her accounts on social media. How long this family finds justice may well depend on the willingness of the government to intervene. And still in Lagos, the operatives of the Rapid Response Squad RRS Lagos State Police Command have arrested a lady in Agbo, Delta State for drugging her man friend, a medical doctor, in a hotel in Ojodu area of Lagos, and cutting away his car, laptop, and other valuables. The lady, Michelle Harold, 37, from Warri, Delta State, was on Tuesday arrested after the operatives traced her through a car dealer in Lagos whom she had engaged to help perfect import papers for the stolen vehicle. The suspect had on Thursday, 19th January 2017, at about 5:30 p.m., together with her man friend, a medical doctor, checked into a popular hotel in Ojodu Bega with a plan to spend the night. Harold had, after settling down, gone to get a malt drink and yogurt while the boyfriend was taking his bath. According to the victim, the last thing he remembered was that he slept off after taking the malt drink at 6 p.m. and woke up around 2 p.m. the next day. When he woke, all his personal effects were gone. The two met on a social media network dating site, Badoo, a year ago. He said, and I quote, "As I woke up, I rushed straight to meet with a receptionist and gateman to ask for her whereabouts. That was when I realized my car had been taken away too. I was getting to know her for real now. She only gave me Aisha Ibrahim as her full name with these numbers 0806 718 8213, 0708 124 0038. Since the incident, I have been trying to call her, but to no avail. Arrested along with her was one Adesoya Benga, a generator repairer, whom she engaged to drive the stolen vehicle. According to him, that wasn't the first time I would be helping her take a vehicle out of Lagos to Sapele. It was about the third time. The vehicle was recovered in Warri. It was further learnt that she had removed the number plate and put it in a car mat for sale. The police spokesperson, Superintendent of Police SP Dolakwa Badmos, who confirmed the arrest, noted that the case has been transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department for further investigation. And just before we wrap up, remember, security is partnership between the security agencies and you. Help them by giving them information to secure us better. Let's do this again next time. Till then, do send your comments to crimewatch@tvcnews.tv. Do have a crime-free week. I'm Ivy Kano.